Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's Shadowwraith and I just want to say Happy Easter. And because it's Easter, I thought I'd do a different kind of list, because why not? I'm going to be going over my top 3 heroes who don't die, or have a second coming, or yeah. So you can choose what kind of theme I've gone for there, yeah. Just saying, not comparing it to religion. But hey ho, it's still a cool list. Now, we're going to jump straight into this. To get into this category, you've just got to be a pain to kill, you know? You've got to be able to either really not want to die, or you come back to life after you do die. Yeah, pretty easy. So, we'll jump straight in with the lowest tier, the number 3 slot, going to the wonderful Undying. Now, for 120 points, you're getting a lovely Ring Wraith. So, yeah, Ring Wraiths are alright. And he is 5'5", Strength 4, Defense 8, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 6. I always want to cry when I see 1 wound. 2 might, it's not bad. 18 will, which is really good, but 0 fate. Like, okay, yeah, 0 fate. How is he Undying then? Well, I'll get to that. He comes with heavy armor and a staff, because staffs are awesome, yeah, sure. Heroic channeling. And he's got the options for an armoured fell beast, a fell beast, and a horse, going from 70 points, 50 points, and 10 points. Cool. Yeah, probably stick him on a horse, why not? Then he's got Harbinger of Evil, Terror, and Will of Evil. Will of Evil is absolutely a pain. I don't know why it's in the rules. Ugh, it hurts me. Every time hurts me. But hey ho, they put it in there for balancing or something like that, I don't know. Then we've got his other special rules. He's got Arcana Leech. Basically, at the start of the movement phase, but before heroic actions are declared, the Undying may spend a point of will to activate this ability. Until the end phase of that turn, the Undying regains 1 will point for each magical power successfully cast by another model in 6. Oh, that's actually really, really good. So, yeah, you want to stick some spellcasters in with this guy. And, I mean, he's only got the Mordor keyword, but sure, you can put him in with an ally. Mordor's got, quite a few allies. Yeah. Awesome. That is absolutely awesome, because you can chuck a load of random spells out. Really easy to cast ones as well. That's nuts. Cool. Makes up for the Will of Evil, at least. And then on top of that, he's got Eternal Willpower. The Undying may expend will points in the same manner as fate points. Boom! That's how he's Undying. He's got 18 to start with. And then he can get them back with magical powers, and it's each successfully cast magical power by another model within 6. So you can really keep this guy alive. A Defense 8 is not, it's nothing to sniff at, it's really good. And as for his magical powers, he's got Drain Courage, 12-inch range, 2+ to cast, Transfix, 12-inch, 3+ to cast, Compel, 12-inch, 4+ to cast, Black Dart, 6 inches, 5+ to cast, and Instill Fear, 3 inches, 5+, Sap Wheel, 12 inches, 5+. So yeah, pretty solid Ring Wraith, but absolutely nuts. You can keep him alive forever, essentially. If you build a list around him, kind of, or dedicate something around him, you can really do some mischief with this guy. And yeah, that's all I've got to say about the Undying. Pretty solid. And yeah, I mean, I think he earns his name. I played against him once, and yes, he did not die. It was pretty crazy. Now, moving on, we have got our number 2 slot, and we're jumping into the Gondor at War book. We have got the mighty Gorath, Captain of the Morannon. He is only 80 points, and that is an absolute bargain. Because, I mean, he's move 6, he's fight 5, which is solid, strength 5, which is nuts, defense 6, yeah, that's good, 2 attacks, nice, 2 wounds, and courage 4. He comes with 3 might. That is absolutely bloody fantastic. 3 might for an 80-point model is fantastic. Only 1 will, 1 fate, but hey ho, we'll forgive him for that. Now, you're thinking 1 fate, not really unkillable. We'll get to that. He's got Heroic Strike, and he's armed with a 2-handed mace, but he is burly. So he's strength 5 with a +1 to wound. So he is killing whatever he touches, pretty much. That's pretty nice, or wounding it at least. And he's got Come Here Maggot as his active ability. And this is how he, just does not die. Absolutely nuts. I've played against him, and yeah, he didn't die. It was pretty crazy. Each time, he suffers a wound that would cause him to be slain after fate points have been spent. So you have to choose your single fate point. And if that fails, hey ho. he may roll a d6. On a 2+, he may select a friendly Mordor orc within 1 inch of him. And he basically chucks him in the way, and that model suffers the wound. That's pretty crazy. But he can't, that model that you've just chucked in the way of that spear thrust or whatever, cannot use like benefit from Fury, but it can use Fate. So, if you really wanted to make him stupidly undying, you could chuck him with a couple of cheapy heroes, you know, with a couple of bits of Fate. Why not? You can have a dedicated hero next to him who's got some Fate. It's got to be a Mordor orc, but hey ho, there's plenty of them to pick from. That's nuts. So he literally comes back to life, kind of, you know, in a way like, yeah, I've killed him. Oh, no, I haven't. He's rolled a 2+. A 2+. Nuts. I mean, you can't use might for it, but still, 2+. That's pretty tasty. Moving on. We've got our number 1 slot. Now, if you think, and you've been playing this game for a while, who is the hardest person to kill that keeps coming back to life? I bet there is one man that jumps into your head. And it is, of course, Faramir. No, I'm joking. It's not Faramir. It is Sauron. You know, the Dark Lord himself. A big lad. Okay, so I know, like, it's expected, this guy, probably. I don't know, some of you might have expected him to be the number 1 slot. But basically, the reason why I didn't put, say, the Necromancer in the place of the Undying, because he kind of does what he does with more will, is because A, we've already got the Dark Lord Sauron, and the Necromancer is like ridiculous points for what he can do, in my opinion. Unless you've got like a full army for Dol Guldur. No, don't bother. Anyway, cracking on. The Dark Lord Sauron, he is a whopping 400 points, but you do get some bang for your buck, okay? So don't worry about that. He's only movement 6, which kind of sucks, but he's fight 9, so only being beaten out by like 1 model, I think, Balrog. He's strength 8, which is ridiculous. Defense 10, ridiculous. 4 attacks, 5 wounds, and courage 7. He's got 3 might, 6 will, and, I mean, he's got double asterisks for his fate. He's armed with heavy armour, a mace, and the One Ring. So he comes with the One Ring. Sauron does not follow the normal rules for the One Ring. Instead, whilst he wields the One Ring, whenever he suffers a wound that would cause him to be slain, so, you know, his last wound's been stripped off, you roll a dice. On a 2+, he comes back to life with 1 wound. And you have to roll this every time. So if he takes 4 wounds, you know, and he's only got like 2 wounds left, so you'd have to roll 2 dice to see if he comes back to life, if that makes sense, because he's gone 2 over his threshold. But you can use might, and you've got 3 might to do it. So yeah, it's really tough to kill this guy. Like, it's ridiculously tough, absolutely nuts. He's got heroic channeling, heroic strike, heroic strength, and heroic challenge. Nice. Special rules: ancient evil, perfect. I mean, he's terrifying, makes sense. Resistance to magic, which is awesome, and causes terror, because he's terrifying. So yeah, Dark Lord. If Sauron is in your force, he must be your leader. That is absolutely insane to put that. I mean, obviously he's going to be your leader, like, sure, why not? And then, the Lord of the Rings. Sauron can spend a single point of will each turn without reducing his own store. Awesome. So he's got stuff power without having a stuff power. Even better. He's got a brutal power attack. He's got 2 of them, actually. He's unstoppable. Instead of striking normally, Sauron can instead make 1 strength 8 hit on every model involved in the same fight, including spear and pike supports. That is absolutely bonkers. You can literally kill everyone in a combat. So it says 4 attacks. That's the win the duel roll. And if you're absolutely mobbed, you know, you just go, yeah, alright, I'm gonna be unstoppable. And you hit everyone. Imagine fighting Isengard or something nuts like that, or Easterling, where they've got like 3 people on you each side. You're gonna roll like a ridiculous amount of attacks and like wipe out a warband a turn. Because it's strength 8 as well. So it's pretty easy to kill stuff at strength 8. Failing that, if you don't want to do that, and you've only got 1 dude in front of you, you can use the Flames of Evil. This is a brutal power attack again, and Sauron makes a single strike against a single infantry or cavalry model engaged in the fight. If the model is a cavalry model, then only the rider will be affected. If the model is fortunate enough to survive, even if they did not suffer a wound, then the target is also set ablaze. Remember that this also inflicts 1 strength 9 hit on the poor model that Sauron has in his grasp. So, That's alright. You know? That's... I mean, unstoppable just sounds better, but I guess you pick someone up and set them on fire in your hand is pretty awesome. I mean, I can see that in my head. That sounds cool. What his magical powers are, though, he's got Drain Courage, which is 18-inch range, 2 plus the cast. Transfix, 18-inch range, 2 plus the cast again. Compel, which is also 18 inches, 3 plus the cast. Then Instill Fear, 3 inches, 3 plus the cast. Chill Soul, which is fantastic. You just dish out wounds. 18 inches again, 4 plus, and Sap Will, which is 18, 4 plus. So he is an absolute monster. And additionally, if you keep the army bonus, then his warband is increased to 24 models. That is, yeah. And if the army is completely Barad-dûr, you are never considered broken if Sauron has 3 or more wounds remaining. So, yeah. Should Sauron have 2 or fewer wounds remaining, the army will break as normal. And if he is slain, however, the army will immediately count as being broken. So, but he's a tough little puppy. He is not going to go down easy. And, I mean, you want to get him to combat, but, like, as long as you're not a silly player, not saying silly, alright, okay, I'll rephrase that. If you're not, reckless with him, and chuck him into situations where a hero could strike to fight 10 and have an Elven Blade and maybe roll a 6 and you're trapped, you should be alright. Okay? Yeah. Anyway, that is my list. So, if you have any comments on what I've said or have any better suggestions or anything you think I missed out, please let me know in the comment section down below. I always read them and always comment back. I hope you have a fantastic Easter and a fantastic day in general if you're not watching this on Easter. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.